Men over 50, listen carefully. If you wake up in the morning and your manhood feels quiet, if that natural strength you once relied on has faded, it is not because you are broken or too old. The surprising truth is this: your body has not abandoned you. Your erections have not disappeared forever. They've simply grown silent, like a room with the lights turned off. The electricity is still there, waiting for you to flip the switch. With the right touch and the right awareness, your body can awaken again. I am Dr. Strong, a men's health specialist who has spent decades helping men reclaim vitality, intimacy, and confidence. Over the years, I've watched thousands of men in their 50-second, 60-second, and even 70-second rediscover something they thought was gone forever. And here's the key: they didn't do it with dangerous drugs, expensive surgery, or mechanical devices. They did it with their own hands, their own breath, and a few minutes of simple practice each day. The greatest misconception is believing age permanently steals erections. Science and experience both prove otherwise. Deep inside, your nerves, your blood vessels, and your manhood are still capable. What's missing is not ability, but activation. The secret isn't in a pill bottle, it's in 3 overlooked points on your body that act like hidden switches. Press them correctly, breathe deeply, and your mornings can transform. I remember a patient named Harold, 74 years old, who once told me, "Doc, I don't care about sex anymore. I just want to feel alive when I wake up." That single sentence revealed the deeper truth. Men don't just want erections, they want dignity, energy, and proof that they are still whole. Within weeks of practicing these methods, Harold called me, voice trembling, saying, "This morning, I felt like myself again for the first time in 10 years." And Harold is not alone. Studies from Harvard Medical School confirm that age alone doesn't destroy erections, poor circulation, weak nerve signals, and lifestyle neglect do. The Journal of Sexual Medicine published evidence that older men who practice deep breathing and targeted stimulation of pelvic points show significant improvements in blood flow and morning response within just 6 weeks. In other words, the body remembers what to do. It only needs to be reminded. Think of it this way: aging is not losing. Aging only makes it easier to forget the signals that once came naturally. Just as a garden left untended grows quiet and dry, your manhood can fall silent without care. But when you water it, nourish it, and give it light, life returns. The power is still inside you, waiting. And by learning the 3 hidden points I will reveal, you will discover how quickly the spark of vitality can come back. So stay with me, because what you are about to learn has already transformed the lives of countless men over 50. Your body is not finished. It's only waiting for you to flip the switch. Now let's move to the first hidden point that most men over 50 have never even considered. This point lies just above your pubic bone, the small stretch of lower abdomen where your belly meets the pelvis. At first glance, it looks like nothing more than skin and bone, but in truth, this area functions like a command center for male vitality. When you engage it correctly, it can stir circulation, awaken dormant nerves, and restore sensations you thought were gone for good. I once guided a 6-7-year-old man named Walter through this very exercise. He walked into my clinic with shoulders slumped, eyes tired, and told me, "Dr. Strong, I think I've lost it. I can't remember the last time I woke up with any strength down there." Instead of reaching for a prescription, I placed his hand on the spot just above the pubic bone and coached him to breathe slowly into it, gentle pressure, no force. Within minutes, I saw his expression change. He felt a faint warmth spreading through his lower body. That subtle shift was the first sign his body was remembering what it once knew. 2 weeks later, Walter returned with a smile on his face, saying, "Every morning, something is coming back. I never imagined I would feel this again. Why does this spot matter so much?" Beneath that thin layer of skin lies a network of blood vessels and nerves essential for pelvic circulation. Over the years, lack of stimulation, poor posture, and even long hours of sitting weaken those pathways. Blood flow slows, signals fade, and the area grows quiet. By gently pressing and breathing into this point, you're not creating something new. You're reactivating what has always been there. It's like knocking on a door that has been closed for too long. Once you knock, the door begins to open. Modern science backs this up. Research in Urology Journal highlights that gentle stimulation of the lower abdominal region increases parasympathetic activity, the part of your nervous system responsible for relaxation and blood vessel dilation. When vessels open, circulation improves naturally. Combine that with deep breathing, which boosts nitric oxide levels, and you create the perfect conditions for stronger, healthier erections. This is not about pushing hard or trying to force a result in the moment. In fact, the men who benefit most are those who practice with patience. Approach it with curiosity, almost like reintroducing yourself to a part of your body you've ignored for years. Your manhood listens when you treat it with respect. And as the connection rebuilds, strength follows naturally. Many of my patients have reported more than just physical changes from working on this first point. They describe a renewed sense of confidence, a feeling that their body is still alive, still capable, still trustworthy. That dignity is priceless. Because once you realize your body hasn't failed you, but only needed your attention, hope comes flooding back. And hope is the most powerful medicine of all. But this is only the beginning. Because as effective as this first point is, there's another one hidden deeper, almost always ignored, that can unlock an even greater surge of circulation and sensation when awakened. Few men know about it, but once they do, their lives often change forever. The second hidden point is one that almost no man over 50 has ever been taught to notice, yet it may be the most powerful of all. It sits in a place most men ignore, the soft space between your scrotum and your anus. This spot is known as the perineum, and in Eastern medicine, it has been respected for thousands of years under the name CV1, while Western medicine has often overlooked it. That's a shame, because the perineum functions like a valve controlling blood flow, nerve signals, and energy in the lower body. When this area is tight, blocked, or neglected, circulation weakens and sensitivity disappears. But when you bring awareness to it, everything can change. I remember working with Thomas, a 1-year-old Marine veteran who came into my office saying, "Doc, it feels like the lights went out down there. I can't feel anything anymore." I taught him a simple practice. Sit on a roll towel or soft cushion. Apply gentle pressure against the perineum, breathe deeply, and allow the body to relax. No forcing, no strain, just presence. Within days, Thomas reported something remarkable. A faint pulse, a subtle warmth, the first signs of life returning. Weeks later, he told me his mornings were no longer empty, strength and sensation were slowly coming back. Why does this work? The perineum acts as a central junction. It is where muscles, nerves, and blood vessels of the pelvic floor converge. Over time, these tissues grow tense and circulation gets trapped, like a faucet turned off. When you relax and stimulate this point, that valve opens. Blood begins to move again, nerves reconnect, and your body remembers how to respond. Even the smallest flicker of feeling can spark enormous hope, and that hope changes everything. Science supports this as well. Pelvic floor therapy, widely studied in recent years, shows dramatic improvement in erectile function for men who strengthen and relax these deep muscles. One clinical trial published in BJU International found that men practicing pelvic floor exercises regained erectile control nearly twice as often as those relying only on lifestyle changes. The perineum is not just a forgotten piece of anatomy, it's a gateway to restoring circulation and sensitivity. When a man rediscovers this area, his mindset shifts. He no longer sees himself as broken. Instead, he feels in control, carrying himself with greater confidence. One patient told me, "Doc, I don't just feel more down there, I feel more alive everywhere." That's the hidden gift of the perineum. It doesn't just restore erections, it restores dignity. But as powerful as this second point is, it's still not the end of the story. There is a third and final switch, located not on your groin at all, but along a pathway you probably only think of when you're walking or sitting. Yet it holds one of the most direct keys to blood flow and sensitivity. Once awakened, it can reconnect your body in ways you may not have imagined possible. The third point may surprise you because it isn't even located on your groin. Instead, it runs along your inner thigh, right where the thigh meets the lower abdomen, the crease that most men never give a second thought. Hidden beneath that line are two of the most important highways of male vitality, the femoral artery and the femoral nerve. These pathways carry blood and sensation directly to your manhood. When they become stiff, compressed, or ignored for years, erections lose their strength, volume, and sensitivity. But when you awaken them, the difference can be life-changing. Take Earl, a 8-year-old truck driver who had spent decades sitting behind the wheel. By the time he came to see me, he felt completely disconnected from his lower body. "Doc," he said, "I thought my thighs were just for walking and hauling me around. I never imagined they had anything to do with my performance in the bedroom." I showed Earl how to gently trace his fingertips along the inner crease of his thigh, pausing at any tender or tight spots and breathing deeply as he applied soft pressure. At first, he admitted it felt strange, even pointless. But within a week, he noticed warmth spreading downwards. "It's like the blood is finally moving again," he told me with a grin. By the second week, Earl was waking up with strength he hadn't felt in years. Even more than that, he said, "I feel like a man again." What Earl experienced was simple biology. The femoral artery supplies oxygen-rich blood to the lower organs, and the femoral nerve is one of the main routes carrying sensation. If those pathways are restricted by years of sitting, poor posture, or tight hip flexors, no pill can fully make up for the loss. But when you restore circulation and nerve communication through gentle massage and breath, you're literally opening the road back up. Think of it like clearing traffic on a blocked highway. Once the cars move freely, the city lights up again. Clinical studies confirm this connection. Research in the Journal of Andrology shows that men with stronger blood flow in the femoral artery have significantly healthier erectile function. Even light stretching or massage of the inner thigh improves vascular flexibility and increases oxygen delivery. This means that by reactivating this forgotten line, you're not just improving erections, you're strengthening the entire lower body. Many men who practice this technique tell me they notice more than just better mornings. They report sleeping deeper, walking with more energy, and even feeling calmer during the day. That's because circulation doesn't just restore erections, it nourishes the legs, hips, and nervous system. When blood flows freely, the whole body wakes up. Now you know the 3 hidden switches: above the pubic bone, the perineum, and the inner thigh line. Each one works like a circuit breaker, restoring blood flow, sensation, and communication where they've been lost. But pressing these points alone is not the whole story. For results to last, your body needs a strong foundation. That's why the next step is critical, supporting these switches with daily habits that turn a temporary spark into lasting vitality. By now, you've discovered the 3 hidden points: the spot above the pubic bone, the perineum, and the inner thigh line. But you may be asking yourself, why do these actually work? The answer isn't magic. It's science, straightforward biology that shows how erections are created and maintained. Once you understand it, you'll realize why these practices succeed where pills often fail. An erection is nothing more than the result of 2 systems working together: blood flow and nerve signals. When these systems are open and healthy, you wake up hard without even thinking about it. When they're blocked, weakened, or neglected, morning strength fades not because the ability is gone, but because the communication has broken down. Think of your body like a city. The arteries are the roads, carrying traffic in the form of blood. The nerves are the power lines, delivering energy and sensation. If the roads are blocked, cars can't get through. If the power lines are cut, the lights go dim. But when you clear the roads and repair the lines, the entire city lights up again. That's exactly what happens when you stimulate these 3 points. The point above the pubic bone reactivates deep pelvic circulation, sending blood to the organs that rely on it. The perineum releases the valve that may have trapped circulation for years, while reconnecting nerves that had gone silent. And the inner thigh line opens the main highway, the femoral artery and nerve, so that both blood and sensation surge freely toward your manhood. Together, these switches restore the natural pathways your body already knows. Scientific studies prove this. When blood vessels open, nitric oxide is released, a natural chemical that expands arteries and improves sensitivity. Research published in Circulation Research shows that even small increases in nitric oxide can dramatically improve erectile performance. At the same time, reawakening nerve pathways strengthens the brain-to-body connection. Signals travel faster, and the response is immediate. That's why so many men who practice these techniques see results within weeks, not months. I think of Leonard, a 9-year-old man who once told me, "Doc, I don't need to feel 20 again. I just want proof my body still answers me." After learning to activate these points, Leonard called one morning, voice full of life. It happened. I woke up hard, no pills, no tricks, just me. What mattered most to him wasn't just the physical change, it was the dignity of knowing he was still whole. But here's the most important lesson. While these points are powerful, they're not the complete solution. Think of them like light switches. They flip the lights on, yes, but if the wiring in the house is corroded, the lights may flicker or fade. For the change to last, for your body to stay strong day after day, you need to strengthen the foundation that supports those switches. That's where a few simple daily habits come in. Habits so small you might overlook them, yet so powerful they can transform a quick spark into lasting fire. Now that you understand why the 3 points work, let's talk about what truly makes them last. Pressing those points can spark incredible changes. But if you want to keep waking up strong every morning, you must support them with daily habits. These habits are not complicated routines or extreme exercises. They are small, consistent actions that create the foundation for lasting vitality. In fact, many men dismiss them at first because they seem too simple. Yet those who commit to them see results multiply tenfold. The first habit is deep breathing. Not the shallow, quick chest breathing most men do unconsciously, but slow, deep belly breathing through the nose. Just 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing relaxes blood vessels, increases nitric oxide, and lowers blood pressure. A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology showed that men who practiced deep breathing daily improved vascular function within 2 weeks. One of my patients told me, "Dr. Strong, I didn't believe something so simple could help. But after a week, I felt calmer, and my mornings grew stronger." Breathing literally reconnects you to life, and your manhood feels that connection. The second habit is hydration, especially in the morning. After sleeping, your blood thickens slightly. Drinking a glass of warm water first thing helps thin the blood, improve circulation, and primes your body for energy. Warm water in particular is easier for the body to absorb and gently stimulates digestion, which indirectly boosts blood flow to the pelvic region. Think of it as kickstarting your internal engine for the day. The third habit is reducing sugar in the evening. Many men over 50 enjoy dessert after dinner, but high sugar intake quietly damages the endothelium, the delicate lining of your blood vessels. Damaged vessels lose their ability to dilate, and that directly weakens erections. I've had patients who simply cut out nightly ice cream or soda and within weeks noticed fuller, stronger morning responses. That's how powerful diet can be. The fourth habit is movement after dinner. You don't need a marathon or a gym membership. Just a light 10-15-minute walk in the evening activates your body's venous pump, the natural mechanism that helps blood circulate back toward the heart. This simple movement improves overnight circulation, making it more likely you'll wake up with strength in the morning. Harvard researchers have found that even short, consistent walks reduce cardiovascular risk and improve erectile health. The fifth and final habit is about patience and respect. If you rush through these techniques with frustration or expectation, your nervous system tightens and resists. But if you approach them gently, with focus and care, your body listens. Neuroscience confirms this. The parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore system, activates most strongly when the body feels safe. That's when blood flow and sensitivity increase naturally. Together, these 5 habits, breathing, hydration, sugar reduction, evening movement, and patient presence, become the foundation that keeps your results alive. They are daily signals telling your body, I value you, I trust you, I will take care of you. And your body responds with energy, dignity, and strength. But I know what some of you might be thinking right now. Does this really work for men like me? That's why the next part is so important. Because I want to share with you the real stories of men over 50 who followed these steps and how their lives transformed in ways they never thought possible. Whenever I share these methods, I know some men remain skeptical. They nod politely, but inside they wonder, can something this simple really work for me? That doubt is natural. I've sat across from hundreds of men who felt exactly the same. But what I've witnessed proves a powerful truth. When a man commits to these practices, no matter his age, his body finds a way to respond. And the changes are not just physical, they restore dignity, confidence, and the sense of being alive. Take Harold, a 74-year-old retired postal worker from Minnesota. He came to me exhausted, frustrated after trying pills, pumps, and countless remedies. Dr. Strong, he said, I don't need to feel 20 again. I just want to wake up one morning and feel like I still matter. Those words carried the weight of loneliness that so many men carry silently. I guided him through the 3 points, reminded him to be patient, and encouraged him to combine them with the daily habits. 3 weeks later, Harold called, his voice trembling. It happened. I woke up strong for the first time in over a decade. It wasn't just his erection that returned, it was his hope. Then there was Leonard, 69, who told me he no longer cared much for sex. I only want to know my body can still respond, he confessed. He began the practice without high expectations. Yet within weeks, he noticed warmth, sensitivity, and a quiet pulse he thought had disappeared forever. One morning, he sent me a message. Doc, I know now I'm not finished. I still have life left in me. That shift in mindset was as important as the physical result. Earl, the truck driver you heard about earlier, is another example. Decades of sitting had stiffened his thighs and drained his energy. When he learned to awaken the inner thigh line, he not only regained stronger erections, but also noticed new vitality in his legs, deeper sleep, and a calm confidence each morning. I feel more in control, he said. I feel like a man again. And let me add one more. Samuel, a 62-year-old accountant who battled high blood pressure. He doubted that breathing exercises and pressing points could make a difference. But after 6 weeks, his blood pressure dropped naturally. His doctor reduced his medication, and he began waking up with consistent strength. I started this for erections, he laughed. But what I gained was a new lease on life. What ties these stories together isn't just the return of morning erections. It's the return of hope, pride, and connection to life. These men walked taller, smiled easier, and looked in the mirror with renewed respect. Their relationships improved not only in the bedroom, but in the way they carried themselves every day. This is why I share these practices with such conviction. Because I know the transformation is possible. I've seen it in men of every background, every condition, every age past 50. The body still has more to give. It only needs your willingness to reconnect. But before we close, there is one final lesson, perhaps the most important of all. Because if you want these changes to last for the rest of your life, there is a principle that makes all the difference. After decades of working with men over 50, I've learned one lesson that stands above all the rest. Real change doesn't come from pressing a point once or trying something for a week. Real change comes from commitment, from showing up every single day with patience and purpose. That is how a spark becomes a flame, and how a man reclaims what he thought was gone forever. I've seen men discover the 3 points and feel a surge of hope, only to let doubt creep in when they stop practicing. And I've seen others who treated these methods as a daily ritual of self-respect, transform not only their mornings, but their entire lives. The difference wasn't in their age, or their medical history, or even their luck. The difference was consistency. They chose to treat their bodies as worthy of care. They invested a few minutes each day in breathing, pressing, and reconnecting, and over time, those minutes rewrote the story of their manhood. Understand this clearly. This journey is not about chasing youth or pretending you're 25 again. It's about stepping into this stage of life with dignity, strength, and confidence. It's about telling your body, I still believe in you. I still trust you. I will not abandon you. And when you do that, your body responds in ways that surprise you. You'll wake up stronger, sleep deeper, and carry yourself with a quiet assurance that others will notice. I think of Walter, who told me, Doc, I feel like I've been given back a part of myself I thought was gone. I think of Harold, who realized his mornings still held promise. I think of Leonard, who found pride in knowing his body could still respond. None of these men were trying to turn back time. They were reclaiming presence, respect, and connection to life itself. So here is my final message to you. Your prime is not behind you. It is alive right now, waiting for you to claim it. Every time you press these points, every time you breathe deeply, every time you choose water over sugar or take that evening walk, you are telling your body, I respect you. I believe in you. I will keep showing up for you. And when you do, you will discover what countless men already have, that your manhood is not finished, your mornings are not empty, and your best years are not gone. They are here, ready to return the moment you commit. So tonight, when you lie down, or tomorrow morning when you rise, make the choice to begin. Flip the switch, reawaken the pathways, and watch as strength, pride, and vitality return to the man you truly are.